Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Zuhaib Khan and my roll number is 070 and I am from SS2 8th semester. The topic of my discussion is Orientalism. So basically Orientalism is the western construction of the East. First of all, I have to introduce you that what is Orientalism? The concept of Orientalism was introduced by Edward Said in his book Orientalism in 1978. He argued that the West created a biased, stereotypical image of the East through literature, art, scholarship, and politics to serve its own interest. In simple words, Orientalism is a way of thinking based on misrepresentation by the West about the East. It created a false image of Eastern societies and exotic, irrational, backward, and inferior to justify colonial domination and cultural superiority. So you all know that West has colonized East by power, by domination, and by mind. The key features of Orientalism. We have 5 key features of Orientalism. First of all, othering, stereotyping, power and domination, exoticism, and discourse of superiority. Othering. The East is portrayed as the other, strange, exotic, and different from the West. Stereotyping. Eastern people are shown as lazy, sensual, irrational, violent, and despotic. Power and domination. In power and domination, knowledge about the East is used to control, manage, and colonize it. Who colonize? Colonized by West, and colonized area is East. Exoticism is basically focused on the mysterious and spectacular aspects while ignoring reality. Discourse of superiority. The West represents itself as rational, civilized, and morally superior. You all know that West considered himself as civilized and East as uncivilized, and their motto is to civilize the East by its domination. What are the functions and significance of Orientalism? Functions and significance of Orientalism are justifies colonialism. By portraying the East as backward, the West justified its conquest and rule civilizing mission. What is control knowledge? The West produced knowledge about the East, and the Eastern people are denied the right to represent themselves. You all know knowledge is a tool which basically used to colonize and to control the minds of people. And if I go to the example in previous times, you all know that when we are at the age of 10 or 12, some books by America, USA, especially by USA and England, like Changa Manga Jungle and etc., and that were basically used to colonize and to control the mind of the people. Shapes perception. It influenced literature, art, media, and education, created a distorted image of the East in Western minds. Maintain powers. How Orientalism maintains power. It sustains Western political, cultural, and economic dominance, silences the voice of the East. It ignores the real experience, histories, and perspectives of the Eastern people. You all know that Western people shows an irrational and uncivilized, lazy image of East only to justify himself as superior, as civilized. Some of the examples in literature and art. In literature, works like Flaubert, Slamabo, Kipling's stories, The Conrad's Heart of Darkness presents as East and exotic and uncivilized. Paintings. Some paintings like Jean Lynne German and Eugene Declores depicted Eastern life in an exotic and romanticized manner. Some of the films you may watch like Arabs and Asians as terrorists, fantastic or oppressed figures. In these movies, you clearly see that how West and especially America, USA portrayed an irrational and uncivilized, lazy, sensual image of East. So now we go to what are the impacts of Orientalism. Some of the major impacts of Orientalism are creates false and negative image of Eastern societies, legitimize imperialism, racism, and cultural superiority, promotes misunderstanding and cultural distances, affects policies, media, education, and international relations, still visible in modern stereotypes in films, news, and popular cultures. who challenged the Orientalism. Basically, some of the post-colonial writers challenged Orientalism. Post-colonial writers challenge these stereotypes and speaks for themselves. Some of major post-colonial writers are Chinua Achebe, Gayatri Spivak, Homi Bhabha, and others critique of the Western narratives. You may Google it. The goal is to decolonize knowledge and reclaim authentic representation. You may see in the picture that who we are, our voices, our history, our story, and our basically our fighters who work. Some of the famous quotes you may put in the paper are: the Orient was almost a European invention and had been since antiquity a place of romance, exotic beacons, haunting memories and landscapes. Edward Said. An African proverb: until the lions have their own histories, the history of the heart will always glorify the hunters. Marcel Proust: the real way of discovery consists not in seeing new landscapes but in having new eyes. If I conclude my discussion and topic of Orientalism and the concept by Edward Said about Orientalism, so basically Orientalism is not just a study about the East. It is a tool of power that creates a divided world of US, the West, versus them, the East. Understanding Orientalism helps us question stereotypes and build a more equal world. Thank you.